great match. I mean, played exceptionally well against Abzan mid-range, and now we have him against Ivan, whose deck has to be the talk of the tournament.
It's an Elvish Mystic to start things off here in round of number 8. Jen's going to draw a card. He will play a copy of Mystic Monastery and pass the turn back. It looks so innocent to begin.
Oh, he's probably playing with Mantis Rider.
Not quite.
Probably totally innocent.
Does make you wonder if he knows what he's up against. I imagine stories are coming across the floor by this point
Yes,
about what Ivan's up to.
though sometimes information can travel slowly. A lot of it depends on how large is your entourage.
Yeah,
How many eyeballs do you have?
I have 2.
You know what I meant. Seriously, gonna start doing that kind of stuff to each other?
It's a brain maggot. This card's actually probably pretty good in the matchup, honestly. There's God's Willing, Dragon Mantle, Jeskai Ascendancy, Jeskai Charm, another Ascendancy, and a favorite Hoplite. You see a hand like this, you really don't know what you're supposed to take.
To me, I guess favorite Hoplite, you can't keep him off the Ascendancy. And everything else is kind of predicated on having a creature in play.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like to me. It might just be the best that you can do in this situation. Is take that Ascendancy and just kind of hope for the best, I suppose.
If there was only one Ascendancy in the hand, then I think it's an easy choice, but Bradley can't go down that road, so this is the next best thing.
See, Bradley's going to take a look at the cards here, figure out exactly what he's supposed to take. It's not an easy decision, I tell you that much. But the Hoplite is a selection, another Mystic, and just passing the turn back.
But great start here for Bradley.
Oh, can't be unhappy.
Gets to see a pretty soft hand from Ivan that was definitely leaning on having that creature.
He's
A lot of
gonna
mana.
draw. Yeah, can work his way towards Doomwake Giant very easily here. The Maggot's going to come in. Jen's going to go down to 19. 4 mana. Copy of Eidolon Blossom is going to get the engine online. Drew a copy of Hornet Queen. There's a Temple. Top card. Going to the bottom. Pass the turn back over to Jen. Jen will draw a card here. It's a copy of Shivan Reef. That's a Jeskai Ascendancy. That one's important. It's going to take 2 to cast it.
But still, no creatures, and this is the weakness of heroic decks. A lot of moving parts. And Ivan's hand, not really great right now. I mean, he can play a second Ascendancy next turn and loot, maybe start finding creatures, but he's not going to have that much time if Bradley has any sort of follow-up to this board.
It's time to attack. 3 damage is going to come across. Let's see what the follow-up is here for you. Looks like it's next time for the Queen. Yep.
So this is still not a lethal attack next turn. So Ivan could, I guess, theoretically chain together a creature plus an Ascendancy.
And then go nuts.
I guess he doesn't even necessarily have to have a creature this turn because a Crow and Crusader can allow him to generate a bunch of tokens.
That's true. Don't forget about that. There's a Seeker. It feels like you just play that and then you try to set up big for next turn if you can. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to try to do. Back to Woo we go.
I mean, the Seeker on defense holds off a fair bit of the squad.
Mm-hmm. Looks like it may be a Nykthos activation here. I'll be doing it through the Mystics. It's a Commune. An Eidolon, make it 2 Eidolons, a Murderous Cut, an Elvish Mystic, and a Windswept Heath. Eidolon going to go to the grip with some green mana floating here.
But I think Ivan might get a shot at it next turn.
That's all I can hope for.
As long as Bradley does not find a Murderous Cut.
It's time to get attacking in the air. Pretty important that they actually left 2 different colored creatures back on defense.
Yep. Forces a second God's Willing.
Yep.
And Bradley knows that he has one in hand, so that's a card that's on his radar.
Ladies and gentlemen, many of you came with the phone. Most of you still have your phone. At least one of you.
All right, Ivan.
If you find you do not have your phone,
Time to draw a card, see what this deck can do.
If Ivan can win from this spot, I mean, that says quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Because he's done nothing. He has done nothing this game.
Well, he's going to try.
He's facing a turn 6 kill from Bradley. It's about as fast as
Turn
Bradley's.
6, turn 7.
It's about as fast as Bradley's second kill.
It was actually one of the better draws from Bradley this game, given the matchup. Just accelerating really quickly. Yeah, I would take a minute too. There's a lot of complicated things that can happen.
Yeah, we've seen this deck before. There's a lot of triggers. But a turn 6 kill with a brain bag involved that's close to the ceiling of Bradley's draws game 1, I feel like.
There's Retraction Helix. So, time to trigger the Jeskai Ascendancy. Draw a discard.
Yeah, the charm not doing a lot here because Ivan is win this turn or bust, and that's not very helpful.
The way that Ivan tracks this, if you guys didn't see this last round, one for the prowess trigger, and then another for the ascendancy trigger. So that's what the dice represents.
Yeah, he's using just dice to just track the extra size of all of his creatures.
There are a lot of triggers involved with this deck. So it's smart of him to do this way. And of course, the difference between your normal version with the mana accelerants and this one is that, there's no real chaining off here with, he has a Dragon's Mantle in his hand, but there isn't any chaining off to be done.
Correct.
Because Secret Way doesn't tap for mana. So he has to figure out what he can do here. It's not as simple as just play Retraction Helix, play Dragon's Mantle, and have a bunch of fun.
Sometimes the deck can get into spots with Springleaf Drums where it can cobble together an infinite spot, but this is going to be much harder.
There's a Chrono Crusader. Now things get a little more interesting. I'll take one to cast that. Or maybe it does just revolve all around the drum. Gonna take one. There's Dragon Mantle, trigger Heroic, and a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, here comes a ton of triggers.
So first things first, got to resolve the Heroic trigger. That's going to come in. There's your Soldier Token with haste. Well, resolve Prowess. Now resolve the first part of Ascendancy, which will be draw discard. Didn't get a great look at it. And discard an additional copy of Jeskai Ascendancy. Now it looks like just a simple attack here. Actually, so this, with the untap on the stack, he's going to bounce with Retraction Helix.
Sure.
And now he gets to untap his creatures, so ignore what I said.
Maybe trying to just get himself another turn.
That might be for the best, because now these things are all going to grow. And Bradley tried to be a nice guy and help him, but trust me, after watching Ivan play last game.
Just let Ivan do his thing.
Yeah, he knows what he's up to. Now he gets to draw a card from the Dragon's Mantle trigger. So that's it for that part of things. Now, we're going to see an attack. The Crusader does not get to attack, but the Soldier Token and the Seeker do.
So there's no way for Bradley to block out of this and kill the Seeker of the way, because he's only got 5 power back on defense. And this is 6 coming across.
We can't forget 6 lifelink that's coming across, mind you.
Exactly.
So up to 12. So keeping his head above water. Has not played a line yet, so there's a Temple of Enlightenment. It's time to trigger this. A little scry action here. Top card. Ooh, that stayed on top fast.
Whoa. All right, Bradley.
Yeah, that stayed on top fast. Jeez. Didn't get a great look at the draw. See him doing the math, trying to figure out if he can attack for the W this turn.
It is not lethal by the looks of things. He has 11 points of damage in, he has exactly 12 in play. 1 from the Brain Maggot, 3 Hornet Queen, 6 tokens, 10 to the Eidolons, 12 to the Mystics. So the token on defense allows Ivan to stay exactly alive this turn.
That's fortunate.
It's almost like Ivan planned this out.
No. Block here. Take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Gets a favorite hoplite. He goes down to 1. Well, take a look at that mana base, though. There's a mana confluence out there in Shivan Reef.
It's going to be tough.
Painful stuff. Painful stuff.
There is work yet to be done.
Maybe he's supposed to block the Eidolon in that instance, then? Oh, well, he can actually get more creative than I thought. There's another Hornet Queen. He can actually tap mana confluence for black mana.
Oh, sure, yep.
Because of Urborg's out there.
Now, his deck is very sensitive in terms of colored mana.
Yeah.
So colorless mana may not help him, but yes.
It's possible. There's another Hornet Queen. Draw a card, Retraction Helix. That's the card he kept on top so fast. Well, let's try it again, shall we? Ascendancy triggers, of course, resolve the prowess. Now this. Draw this card. Looks like another copy of a Chrono Crusader. It's got favorite hoplite there. That's going to go to the bin. We think. Maybe. Yes.
Non-haste creatures don't seem that productive from this spot.
The big question is, can he get anything? Because he's got that God's Willing in his hand. The big question is, can he get anything done with it?
And now he's running out of colored mana, too.
Yep.
So it's almost like this draw step has to be Springleaf Drum.
Draw. Discard another Ascendancy. Resolve the Scry and all that stuff. So, untap trigger on. Gonna bounce a token out of the way. Now they'll get +1/+1. And now he gets to Scry. Though I don't think that actually matters in this instance. That card's gonna go to the bottom. No, I have been wrong before. See his hand, he's got the Trailblazer there.
And this lifelink hit is not going to be enough to keep Ivan alive next turn.
Yeah. It's another attack for 6. He's gonna go up to 7. The problem is all these bees.
Yeah. I think this is just too much flying on the way back.
Yeah. Yep. Looks like, yeah, he's gonna pack it up. The fact that he even had a chance to win is horrifying.
Shocking.
Yeah.
That was a game that Ivan could have potentially won.
Bradley, you up a game here over Ivan Gen, Green-Black Constellation. Up a game over this crazy Jeskai Heroic combo deck. Both players going to go to the sideboards. We will look at them too. Ivan's got 3 copies of Chasm Skulker, a Disdainful Stroke, 2 Negates, 2 Seeker of the Way, 3 copies of Erase, 2 Magma Jets, and 2 copies of a Johnny's Presence. I guess the only card I really like here a lot is Magma Jet.
Well, Erase seems pretty nice against a deck with a lot of kind of a constellation
Yeah, okay,
package.
you're right. Yeah, I missed that.
Probably
Okay.
good enough. But yeah, the rest of this is not really sitting out to me. I can see bringing in the Seeker of the Ways if he just needs more, if he feels like he needs more threats. I imagine that's more for mono-red matchups since things where the lifelink is what you're really in the market for.
Yeah, the lifelink there, I mean, if we're in a racing situation, Seeker of the Way was the one card that could keep him in it.
Yes.
And he's got 2 in his main and then 2 more in the sideboard, so maybe that's the option. We'll see.
And on Bradley's side here, 2 Team Wake Giants, a Dark Betrayal, 2 copies of Hero's Downfall, a Farika, God of Affliction, a Nissa Worldwaker, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Arbor Colossus. Give me the 4 copies of Thoughtseize. We saw what happened to Ivan's draw there when he got hit with a discard spell. Never really got anything going. 2 additional Doomwake Giants and the 2 Heroes Downfalls I think are all nice for Bradley in this matchup.
Both players going to finish up sideboarding here. Ivan Gen, the talk of the tournament thus far. We'll get to watch him keep playing in just a second, but right now we will talk about our states and regionals tournaments that are taking place every Pro Tour weekend.
The program has been so successful for us that we want to be holding it every single Pro Tour weekend. You see the state championship dates already announced are going to be spring and autumn, April 11, 12, and October 17, 18. Regional championships in the summer, August 1st and 2nd, and the more recent one coming up here, Winter Regionals, February 7th and 8th. Again, every Pro Tour weekend. So if you're not qualified, come out to these tournaments where you can play for Open Series points, prizes, medals, and a lot more. StarCityGames.com/regionals for more information for our upcoming regional championship.
And you know, we've just got this pretty sweet playmat that we're going to give away at this tournament too.
Boom!
All these squirrels in the house, free to the first 200 players that do sign up for Winter Regionals, February 7th and the 8th. Again, StarCityGames.com/regionals for more information. Plant your flag, February 7th and the 8th.
These exclusive playmats are pretty fun.
I love them.
And popular.
I absolutely love them. I got to get in contact with Star City Games. I need one of these. I have a drawer at home where I just keep the playmats from all the tournaments I've been to.
Right, that's currently my retirement portfolio.
Oh, okay.
That's effectively my 401k is just playmats from various Grand Prix.
And it's like, 30 or 40 years later.
Just wait.
Yeah, just put them up on eBay. It's like comic books.
Exactly. It's
Right?
very similar. I hope. 'Cause otherwise I'm going to be working for a real long time.
Otherwise, you're broke.
Yeah.
So there's that. Hey, working's not so bad. I could do this for a while. I don't seem to mind.
40 years from now, we're still going to be bringing you the Open Series.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Big thinking.
Well, I'm going to bank on the playmats being really lucrative a little bit down the line.
I'm over for this. I don't mind this at all.
I don't know how 70-plus-year-old me will handle all the travel.
Well, yeah, but we'll have some great stories to tell.
That is true.
That's for sure.
We already have a lot of really good stories
We
to tell.
do.
Well, not to tell because most of them can't be told. But
Oh, sure,
we are,
sure.
Maybe that's the plan. We're accumulating enough awesome stories. We're going to be able to write a tell-all novel, and that will give us the funds we need to retire.
I like how you're thinking.
Yeah.
That's good. Little paperback.
Yep. And Star City Games already publishes books.
Boom.
So this is easy.
This is basically
falls right into their core competency already.
basically a lock.
Basically a lock.
Yeah, we're already rich. Why don't we just go buy stuff now?
Yep. That's a good idea.
Is that how it works?
Yep.
Here's a Temple of Enlightenment.
I'm looking to be heavily leveraged and banking on my portfolio of Grand Prix playmats and upcoming best-selling novel to get me to the finish line.
An Elvish Mystic, how you will start. Mystic Monastery into... There's a favorite hoplite. Pass the turn back. You're going to draw a card. See what he's got here for the second turn of the game. Taking a long one. Looks like it's a carry added and not a second land. That makes sense why it took a little longer.
I was about to say, Bradley looking good this game with a Wayfinder in hand and a Murderous Cut. Cheap interaction, but now we can see the problem.
See if Ivan can do anything this turn.
Now, we haven't really got to see this deck in action when it does not have Ascendancy.
That's the big question, right?
That's the big question here. How good is this deck when it doesn't have its hallmark card?
It does have temples to scry and try to find them. And of course, draw steps every turn, but if it doesn't have Ascendancy, how good is it? Here's the Monastery Swift Spear. Let's see what the follow-up's gonna be. He's trying to figure out the best way to go.
This is a very tough deck to play.
I wouldn't want to pick up this deck right now. It is really hard. There's a drum. That's going to trigger prowess. And I think, yeah, this is coming into the red zone. I actually like that attack a lot because he actually has a copy of Defiant Strike in his hand.
Yep.
That gives +1, and then Heroic Trigger gives +1 too. So if Caryata did block.
Also feels like the kind of matchup where Bradley dies, it's not going to be by a point.
Yeah.
It's going to be by infinity points. So no reason to risk your Caryata there, especially when you're stuck on lands.
Crone Crusader are going to come down. See what you is up to this turn. 2 mana, there's a Satyr Wayfinder. That thing's in the way. 2, 3, and 4. There's some lands there. 3 options along with the Courser of Crucifix. The lands there. Wooded Foothills, a Temple of Malady, and a copy of Llanowar Waste.
So if he takes the Wooded Foothills, it does allow him the option of casting Murderous Cut this turn if he wants to. Because he gets all 4 cards in the graveyard.
Yep.
I suppose if he takes any untapped land, he gets access to it, because there's 3 in the graveyard plus his 2 mana. I don't know how much he's planning on Murderous Cutting this turn. he may want to just continue to develop his mana and save that for somewhere down the line.
Well, now, Jen will draw a card. We'll see what kind of crazy stuff he can do now. Again, doesn't look like a copy of Ascendancy has shown up this game. And this is the big question for the deck. What's it do if it doesn't have its best card?
Well, the answer might be just beating down with these creatures.
That's a pretty good answer. We can't sell that short.
And here they come. We have moved to Plan B.
It's kind of the idiot brigade. You has no interest in blocking. Will Jen cast a spell? Looks like yes. Defiant Strike. It's going to trigger a couple things here.
So I imagine we're still inside of combat here.
Yeah, this is just so hard. The things you're supposed to do. Like, in what world are you supposed to target that hero creature, not the one that's attacking?
Oh, well, you know.
You know?
First of all, you want to diversify your bonds a little bit.
Yeah?
If it's hit with the target removal spell, it's not quite as bad. Second, Ivan needs as many spare little creatures he can get his hands on.
I don't even think that's wrong. Here's a Seeker. There's a land.
It is true that we have not seen, I don't believe I've ever seen that line of play before.
Yeah, it's probably just fine.
No, I'm good. Target the other guy.
He is going, you see, this is kind of a new term that's always sprung up the Magic community, is going wide. He's just, you know, instead of going big like the Monsters deck do, with just one big creature, two big creatures, going wide, a bunch of creatures on the table.
Yep.
None of them all that big. Here's 3 mana. What do we have here? Course of Crucifix. Top card, Mana War Waste. That's going to come into play. Trigger, gain a life.
Bradley's in this weird spot where he kind of wants to hold up his removal spell. You see he has Murderous Cut in hand. He has 2 mana, 3 cards in the graveyard. The flip side of this is not clear how much a Murderous Cut even matters in the event that Ivan's able to go off.
Yeah. That's kind of the crazy thing, right?
It doesn't kill Jeskai Ascendancy, and everything else in play is a non-critical element. It's just redundant stuff.
Top card is Sylvan Caryatid. Draw a card. The other thing, too, to note, he's not underneath any pressure. Even though he doesn't have Ascendancy yet, he's not underneath any pressure, so he doesn't really have to do all that much.
Well, he has to worry, you know, Bradley finding something powerful, starting to go off with Eidolon Blossoms, or chaining together Doomweight Giants. That's the big concern. But no, he's not under any immediate pressure to do things. But this is the test here. This game without Ascendancy.
Certainly is. There's a Retraction Helix. Of course, that's going to trigger Rogue and Prowess twice.
This seems really fun.
If you like triggers, this is the deck for you. I can tell you that much. Let's see if this resolves. The interesting thing about this is this could be something as simple as just say, activate that, bounce your Courser, attack for a bunch. That's what I thought this turn might be.
And this is, I mentioned this before, part of the reason that I like this deck is that the Retraction Helix in the other build is an essential element, so you can't throw it away, and it doesn't have really any utility other than being a way to eventually win the game. In this deck, he can just do this.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is perfectly fine. So here are some blocks. Jen's going to tap some mana. Might run into the Murderous Cut here. There's Defiant Strike. Yeah, trigger, 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 trigger.
This is so awesome.
Here's a Murderous Cut. Gonna delve. I think someone has a God's Willing?
Sure.
Jace. Trigger, trigger, trigger.
Just beaten down.
Yeah, Jace. Give Pro Black. This thing's gonna get a little bit bigger. This is gonna get a little bit bigger. Resolve the Scry. Don't need no stinking Ascendancy. That card's going to go to the bottom. Now, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger.
I think Bradley thought that he had the trap sprung on Ivan this turn, and it did not work out that way.
Oh, someone was ready. That's for sure.
All right, so all your stuff's dead. You take $1 million. I guess a draw card too.
Well, absolutely. Scry card to the bottom. Can't forget about that. And Dust is going to settle. Defiant Strike is going to draw a card. Got to make sure he gets that one. And we will make sure he drew a card with Defiant Strike.
Yeah, he got it. He got it.
Did he get it? Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure. I don't expect him to miss anything given the way he's played on camera. Just want to make sure.
It's really impressive because this dice got 1,000,000 triggers. There's so many things going on.
Yeah. And all the ordering of it, too.
Heroic plus prowess. Often these things will cause triggers to be occurring simultaneously. So how you want to order them is a big deal.
See the top card. Brain Maggot. You already know you have a little bit of mana difficulties, though. There's a Wooded Foothills. Yeah, just the use of Retraction Helix, just to get Courser out of the way to deal a bunch of damage. Those counters, of course, are going to stay on Favorite Hoplite.
Yes.
Part of the appeal. It's a 3/4 now. Get a lot bigger, though. You're going to sacrifice the fetch land. Of course, lose one, then gain one once the forests come into play. We'll see what his top card's going to be here in just a moment.
He has Murderous Cut in hand. I'm curious to see if he's going to tap out for something else after what happened last turn, where Murderous Cut I don't think was quite as good as Bradley was anticipating.
He has a Caryatid in hand that he could tap out for. Top card, another Murderous Cut. Jeez. That card's important in this matchup. 2 mana. There's Caryatid.
All right, shields down. Here we go.
Jen gonna draw. Didn't get a great look at anything there.
There's a lot of great draws in Ivan's deck right now.
Oh, yeah.
Another Retraction Helix especially.
Yep.
First time I've seen Retraction Helix cast as just a sweet magic card.
Yeah, that might just be the best card for him to draw. Play it on the Crusader, bounce your Courser, beat you down again.
Now, if Bradley can get out of this turn just fine, it's really sweet for him. He gets 2 copies of Murderous Cut at the ready. That's a lot of protection.
Dragon Mantle will be another good one this turn.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
Trigger, cantrip, who knows what. Doesn't look like he has any of that stuff, though. And that said, I'm not feeling good if my opponent's taking that long and attack me with these.
Yep.
I'm not feeling great.
All right, Bradley, figure out blocks. You have no idea what's in my deck.
Block there and there. Any tricks to be had? Yes. God's willing. Trigger these. Lets him beat the Courser. Time to scry. Gonna leave that card on top real fast.
Not a good feeling.
Nope. So here's damage.
Looks like 6 coming across.
Yep. Courser's gonna die. Courser is actually pretty important for stabilization.
Yes. And it's also, the blockers that Bradley's left over with here, the Courser was the only thing that could potentially eat anything in combat. Now we're just looking at trades at best.
3 mana, another Courser. Top card, Brain Maggot. Jen knows that he has 1 copy of Murderous Cut. Don't forget, one of these cuts he actually has to pay back mana for, so he goes down to 1 to cast one of those. He just doesn't have a way to stay alive.
He could do it maybe through the Caryatid, but Bradley knows he's beat. He can't cast both of them. He doesn't have a big enough graveyard. So on to game 3 with Ivan picking up a win without Jeskai Ascendancy.
That was the question.
Yep.
Could he do it without Ascendancy? The answer is yes, he can.
It wasn't like Bradley was doing nothing, too. He was casting Caryatids and Coursers and Murderous Cuts. He was defending himself.
It's pretty telling. That's pretty telling stuff. He was able to get the job done without Jeskai Ascendancy that game.
A win here puts either player in a position to double draw.
Whew. Well, we'll take a moment here to talk about our ooze friend before we do start game number 3. Newest addition to our Creature Collection series. We did have it for SCG Game Night, but now you can get all sorts of stuff.
Yep, and these tokens are available whenever you sign up for any Legacy Open. You get 2 of these. And if you're interested in the other ooze-themed stuff, you have deck boxes, dice bags, play mats, and long boxes with dividers available at the website or any Open where we have a booth. So head on over to starcgames.com if you're interested in purchasing, or just come over to an Open, particularly Legacy Open, pick up these tokens and the corresponding products you want to buy.
The ooze is sweet. We know ooze the boss is.
Who's the man?
Yeah. And other horrible puns that we have here in the
They're
booth.
unlimited. I think Steve Sadin was the first person to introduce me to the effectively unlimited design space of horrible ooze-related puns.
Really?
Yes,
He's got the market cornered there.
he did. Oh, he had them for days.
Good for him. You got to be good at something.
Yep.
So why not that? Available now on StarCityGames.com. Back to the match we will go. It'll be game number 3 between you and Jen. Now, you did have some small mana problems that game. Did keep a 1-lander. But, again, for Jen, he didn't have an explosive draw there. Just some timely tricks. Heroic prowess. Where do I sign up?
The cards that I want, in the worst way if I'm Bradley, Brain Maggots and Thought Seizes.
Yeah.
Just break up that hand and almost as valuable, get the information about what's going on in Ivan's hand, because I think in game 2 there, Bradley thought that he was safer in certain spots than he actually turned out to be.
The info is insanely valuable.
I want to know.
I want to know what I have to worry about, because apparently there are a lot of things. So, got to get a look at the grip. The Temple of Malady is how we're going to start game number 3. Top card going to go to the bottom. Mystic Monastery is how Ivan's going to start. Elvish Mystic, Swamp, kick it back. Jen will draw. Took his first turn to fix his mana.
Critically, no discard here from Bradley through the first 2 turns.
Favorite Hoplite. Chrome Crusader, take 1. Setting up shop.
I like that there's so much controversy in the Magic community. Lands in front of spells or vice versa. And Ivan deciding to split the difference.
Side by side.
Yeah. We can all live together.
Here's an Eidolon of Blossoms. There's no wrong way to eat this, Reese's. Temple of Triumph was the draw. Tough guy favorite Hoplite now, not blocking.
Nope, I'm good. Keeping my idol on, thank you.
Absolutely not. Does have to get a scry here with the Temple. Looks like he may have forgotten his scry trigger. Oh no. The scry trigger is optional after all, so. Hey, you see Bradley point that out, little shoulder shrug. And Bradley says, all right, you know what? Get your scry trigger.
Good man, Bradley. I don't know if I necessarily do the same thing in your spot, but I appreciate your sportsmanship. I hope that doesn't end up with him getting killed because of that. Did I even scry to the top or the bottom?
Bottom. Does it matter either way? It's bad news either way, right? If he keeps it, it's
Well,
like,
if he
oh
scries
no.
if he scries on top, then it's kind of no different than if he just missed the trigger.
Sure. That's
You know,
fine. That's fine. There's a Whip of Erebos.
Surprised to see Whip in Bradley's deck post board.
I am a
This
little bit
seems
too.
like probably the worst card in his entire deck for this matchup.
There's an attack for 2. No sense in hanging back if he's not blocking, so I like the attack.
He has a lot of cards to sideboard in, too.
Oh no, the shields are down.
Oh, don't die.
Temple. The shields are so down.
Is this Whip the opening that Ivan needs to simply win the game?
3-man, yeah,
Oh, boy.
There's Jeskai Ascendancy. Couldn't cast it fast enough. Trigger prowess. If you were Bradley, you were hoping he didn't have it. This looks like an attack, a rather innocent one. Surprised.
Only 4. Only
Yeah,
4.
surprised to see favorite Hoplite staying back on defense too. But he could be up to something. No, just hanging out.
Curious. Not quite sure what that's all about.
You have to imagine he's up to something.
I guess if he wants to hold the Elvish Mystic back, but if Bradley untaps and attacks with the Elvish Mystic, you got to be thrilled.
Yeah.
I want to encourage that play as much as possible.
Let's see what this is going to be. Commune. Top 5. Got ourselves a Landward Waste, a Wooded Foothills, a Windswept Teeth, another Commune, and a Doomwake Giant.
So, looks like Doomwake going to the hand here.
Yeah, that was the easy take.
Well, maybe not, because he could put it in the graveyard and get it out with Whip this turn, whereas Doomwake is more delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And Bradley may not have time. Now, Doomwake's not even that great here because it only gets the Crusader off the table.
Yeah.
But watching this deck in action, the Crusader to me seems like that's
That
really the
feels like
critical
the key piece. Yeah.
It's the way for him to go off without going infinite because he can just generate a bunch of tokens that all get huge and win in one turn. But we shall see how Bradley wants to proceed. If he's setting up a spot where he gets to play Doomwake Giant and a second enchantment next turn to clear off Ivan's board, great, take the Doomwake Giant. But otherwise, this is a big risk.
And there's a Mystic. Just wants more mana. 2 mana, 3-0, no. Maybe a Murder's Cut?
Well, he knows about God's Willing. He's not messing around.
Yep.
The problem here is that this...
All
all right,
yeah.
I was about to say, that's Seeker of the Way. That's a red herring. Gaining life is not what Ivan's trying to do this turn. He's trying to kill you.
Time to draw. Shivan Reef.
Ivan with a backup Crusader in hand.
This turn might take a while.
And Bradley with 1 blocker. Ivan's going to be thoughtful here, but he's been very solid for the 2 rounds we've watched with his triggers.
Don't have a great look at his hand. There's a favorite Hoplite there. He's also got a copy of Retraction Helix. How much can he do? It's a favorite Hoplite. And just a passing of the turn. Wow. I expected much worse.
Well, he knows that Doomwake Giant's coming,
Yeah?
and so he doesn't care about Doomwake Giant now. He has Retraction Helix in hand, so in the event that Bradley's able to go Doomwake Giant, play a second enchantment, Ivan can bounce the Doomwake Giant in response.
There's 5 mana. There's Doomwake. Couple of triggers here. Draw a card. Give everything -1/-1. Looks like he may just pass the turn back. Yeah. Time to draw a card. Yeah, these 2 players go.
Both of them definitely have to respect what each other is capable of doing.
Yeah, he's just going to pass the turn again. Take a look. It's a Crusader Wayfinder. Brain Maggot, Doomwake Giant, Hornet Queen, Corsair of Crucifix, all to the graveyard, which is a great place for him to be, given that there's a Whip of Erebos in play.
Yeah.
3, 4, Whip, target the Giant. Will there be a response?
Well, it could be any spell at all because the Jeskai Ascendancy trigger of +1/+1 keeps everything pretty clean. So he doesn't actually have to kill Doomwake here, but he does have to do something.
Or the whole board's gone. Draw a card with Eidolon. He's gonna lose them all.
Okay. Now, Ivan's been sitting on creatures for a while.
Can't forget, this card is an instant.
Yeah, no, he had the opportunity to attack and he declined.
Yep.
But he was sandbagging a threat last turn, so it wouldn't surprise me if he felt like he could maybe just play through this.
He's going to be forced to. That's for sure. Here's a commune. 3, 4, 5. Hornet Queen going to go to the grip. Elvish Mystic, Satyr Wayfinder, and then 2 lands go to the graveyard. They're both copies Land of War Waste. Doomway Giant gets removed from the whip. Jen going to draw a card. Is that what he was looking for? It was a copy of Dragon's Mantle. Here's a Crusader. This is a Dragon's Mantle. Triggers. Well, if it's going to be a turn, it's got to be this one.
Yeah. I mean, Bradley's got a stocked graveyard here. He's at 29. That's going to be tough.
Draw and discard. There goes Chasm Skulker. Everybody's going to get +1/+1, and then draw from the Dragon Mantle. God's Willing was the draw. Retraction Helix. Looks like that's on the token.
Yeah, because it has haste, so he can activate it this turn.
Time to draw and discard. There goes Favorite Hoplite. Everybody's going to get a little bit bigger. Hasn't played a land yet this turn either.
Nope.
Going to bounce Dragon's Mantle. Looks like he's going to play Dragon's Mantle. It's on the Crusader. Triggers again. Some untaps will take place, all that good stuff. There's your soldier token. There's your draw a discard. Might be looking for a drum here. Oh. Just going to discard the Helix. Up.
Is he doing it?
I think so.
Did he get
Up.
this? You can see his teammates behind all wearing matching shirts.
Uh-huh. That comes in. Draw a card.
He's
that
moving a little faster. I mean,
yeah,
I
he's
think-
moving a little faster now. You were right. There's a land. There's a drum. Trigger all the stuff. I think he's explaining exactly how he goes infinite in this situation.
Yep.
And the drum
Wow.
was the top deck he needed on that turn from an empty board.
Just
Ivan Jen is going to win this match
And some lands.
over Bradley Yu. 2-1. He's 8-0. He's playing tomorrow.
It's double drawing and wow. I mean, this is incredible what we're seeing. Again, we've seen people play decks where no one's expected them before, but I've never seen something where there's an established deck in the format. It's the combo deck of Standard. There's a build event. It's top 8 or Pro Tour, and someone comes into a tournament like this with a completely different build. Has almost no elements of the pre-existing Ascendancy deck, and is now 8-0, and has won 2 matches on camera here in spectacular fashion.